Hey everybody, welcome back. I am Antonio Alanis and I welcome you back to the eighth episode on 12 steps to exhibiting your work as a beginner artist. And today we're going to talk about creating your artist bio. To give you some background, this is the eighth episode in the series. If you have not watched the series from the very beginning, I encourage you to go to the very beginning of this piece or this rather work and look at how everything started and how everything is going to go. I really wanted to talk today about creating an artist bio because on the last episode called Writing an Artist Statement, we talked about the importance of sharing information about your work to the public or to people who want to get your work or look at your work. And in this episode, we're going to talk more about how to write an artist bio. If you're a beginner artist, never written a artist bio in your life, or maybe you haven't had the chance to expand on the one that you have or don't know where to start, this is the video for you. Let's start with the first part. What is an artist bio? An artist bio essentially is you talking about yourself as an artist, meaning more on the personal side. Who is Antonio? Who is the artist that is participating in this exhibition? We're going to talk about some of the things that you can consider when writing an artist bio and other things that I would avoid. Why is it important to include an artist bio and what it is? It's you talking about yourself. And why is it important? It's a connection that you want your audience to learn or understand about you as a person. It's not really writing about your work, it's really writing more about your life or yourself. Now, some artists may not like to talk about how their life impacts their work, or maybe there may be a connection or no connection. I really can't speak for them. I will only talk about myself and how my work is influenced by my life. And I will give you some examples of my artist bio in the end of the video. So make sure you stick around so that you can see or listen to the sample that I will give you today. What is the purpose of it? It's really an introduction to people, for people rather, to you as an artist. It's really a personal introduction. Think about as you are in a group of friends or people who you or are going to meet, it's really that greeting. It's really that first handshake that figuratively you are giving people when they are walking in your space. It's really like a welcome. It's who is the artist, where did they come from, who are they, what have they been doing, and essentially that it establishes that connection to people who are walking in the gallery. It really is something that can help you stand out from the rest of the artist. You are unique, and no one else has your lived experience. It's a way for people to get to know you on a personal level. You may be wondering, okay, I understand what it is, but maybe are thinking or are having just more questions about how to write one. I'm going to give you some pointers on how to write an artist bio. So the first thing would be to talk about your personal background, and this is really as personal as you would like it to be. You don't have to tell all of your story. It's not like you are completely opening up and you want people to know every private part of your life. It's really more of a summary of possibly your personal history when you are showing them who you are as an artist. It's maybe a summary. Do you come from? Where were you born? Or where did you grow up? Or how does something influence your life and your work? It's more of a personal story, including possibly education, not necessarily like a resume. It's not asking you to summarize or list where you went to school. If you did a project or a program somewhere, I think it would be cool to include that part of your education. One thing that I also include in artist bio is to include my artist cultural background, possibly ethnicity, where are my family coming from, that kind of thing, more like the personal cultural background of where I was raised. And my personal artist statement before, I shared a little bit about that, but here it's really more in depth in terms of like where I was raised and maybe other things like that I would like for people to know. This is really a connection and a bridge. It's very similar and also different from an artist statement. Here you can begin to talk about how possibly your life influences your work, or if not, that's also fine not to include it. I think that the artist statement and the artist bio go hand in hand. Both do a little bit of the same, talk about you, if that's the route you want to take. And also they're different because the artist statement talks more about your work and the artist bio talks more about you as an artist or as a person. Include those things. One thing that you can possibly consider is including your artist journey, including how did you start, how did you begin to do something as an artist or begin to work as an artist, any milestones that you would like to communicate to the rest of the world, and possibly how your evolution as a person or development as a person influences your work. I've been doing and writing my artist statement for the last 8-10 years, and I can understand why it can be confusing, but the biggest thing I can say is that they share and overlap some concepts, but also they're different in other ways. Think about that as well as you are writing your artist bio. An artist bio also can be an opportunity to talk about your influences, anything that people have influenced or impacted your life. For example, style, other things that you have enjoyed doing and how you like to do those. And also possibly some current work that you're thinking about doing. An artist bio could be something like, hey, my work currently is exploring XYZ because of my personal background. Back in 2021, I did a series, part of a artist residency, and I talked about how I wanted to create a body of work, about 10 paintings or so, and how my background as a Latino artist, particularly around the theme of resilience, were how that impacted how we saw ourselves as individuals and how other people looked at us as well during 2021. And I created a series of paintings and other visual work that explored this kind of information that I explained. You can talk about possibly how your life is influencing your work, and you can give people some ideas about that. The artist bio back then was very tailored to a particular project or a theme in a series. My artist bio was different from the artist bio that I will be sharing today, but also may not be that different because the same things that I have explored throughout my work are repeating. Nothing is very different, but we can talk about that later. In the last, creating your artist statement, I talked about tailoring, and in this one, when you're writing your bio, you don't have to tailor necessarily if you don't want to. I have the same artist bio that I've used for the past year or a couple of years, and that's essentially because my work is still the same in terms of what I'm exploring or what I am portraying and conveying or possibly studying. If you are in a point of your life where your focus is different, maybe you want to do something else, like in the previous example that I used in my previous video. I'm typically, or most of the time, a visual artist that uses illustration or uses digital art to create digital art, and maybe I want to do something else. For example, create a papel picado focus, this Mexican paper. My bio will be different because I'm exploring something else. I don't want to do visual art anymore. I want to do more of the decorative artwork that I just mentioned. That would be an example. I'm still a digital artist, and I'm not changing for the foreseeable future. So I will not be changing my artist bio at all. Now, some things that I think that I've seen and things that I would avoid is to be being vague or just being accessible, not being clear, using language to exclude people. I personally don't like that. As I was mentioning before, people have used language to exclude people, and it's really a greeting. For me, my work has always been about being welcoming, creating a space of inclusion, and I really want people to feel that they belong in that space. I want them to understand what I'm saying. I think it's important to think about what things you want to talk about as well. As I was saying before, possibly avoiding being overly personal. When you write about your life, it can be hard to choose something that you want people to know. Sometimes when you're meeting people, it depends on your personality, if you're overly open or maybe not as open. Think about those things. What do you want people to know about you? You don't have to tell them. Honestly, you can tell them as much as you want them to know. So don't feel pressured. There's a lot of inspiration out there. You can definitely look out for other things like this somewhere else as well. Look at your favorite artist. Or maybe you go to my online website, AntonioAlanisArt.com, and you can see some of those examples there as well. Now, let's say that you are writing your artist statement. What are some tips? As I was saying before in my previous video about writing an artist statement, the process can be very similar. You can start to brainstorm and think about what are some milestones in your life that you like to talk about in your artist bio. Make that list and make usually 2 or 3, maybe 4 points that you want to talk about you and in your life as an artist, and start talking about them and possibly break them into points, make an outline, and then from that outline you can use the sentences after the first topic sentence and talk more in depth about what you wanted to create or what the first sentence was talking about. This does not have to be an English essay or an essay that we wrote in English class when we were in high school or college. It can be something that it's accessible and not overly formal. That would be one thing. When you write it, consider asking other people to look at it and give you feedback on it. Maybe other people who have had more experience can give you more ideas on how to make it and how to improve it. Revision is super important. That's pretty much it on the artist bio. What I would recommend is to listen and stay for an example of my artist bio. This artist bio is an artist bio that I wrote in 2021 approximately, and it's a small paragraph. So I will read it here, and you can find this by visiting my website, AntonioAlanisArt.com. And if you happen to watch this video later than 2024, most likely my artist bio may have changed, or possibly there's a part of it that has evolved or just developed. Because with anything, our lives as artists do develop and grow. This is my artist bio. Antonio Alanis is an artist and grant writing professional who is dedicated to using his art and writing to address important social issues. Born in Mexico and raised in Durham, North Carolina, Antonio is deeply connected to his community and is driven by a desire to create a more equitable and inclusive society through his work. His background as an immigrant has influenced his perspective and has inspired him to explore themes of social justice, identity, and immigration in his work. In addition to being an artist, Antonio uses his grant writing experience to support nonprofits and partners' efforts to promote social justice and advocate for historically excluded communities. When you were listening to that, think about the previous points that I've shared with you. start separating the whole paragraph into different kinds of things that I talked about before. And you can use this as a model of writing your own. I'm not asking you to completely copy what I'm saying, and you really shouldn't copy anyone's words and steal or plagiarize in the written sense. I think that when you have access to artist bio, think about what you like about it. Maybe think about what don't you like or you don't like about it, and maybe avoid those kinds of things. I think that's an important thing to add when writing an artist bio. We have reached the end of the video. This is a shorter video compared to the others, and I'll encourage you to stay tuned for the next video. In this video, we will be talking more about something that it's crucial as we are beginning to continue to apply to galleries. This would be to understanding gallery fees. So a gallery fee, it's its own video, and I really want to divide it into different places and different segments. I'll encourage you to stick around for the next video. And also, if you have not watched the beginning of the series, I'll encourage you to stay there and stick around and watch them so that you can have better understanding about possibly how to increase your chances of exhibiting, or maybe have a refresher if you have not exhibited, or maybe just don't know where to start. Thank you so much for staying here and for being in this channel. I look forward to hearing or look forward to seeing you all the next time.